my yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach. Welcome back to my crochet channel, and welcome to Friday Fun Day. And I have a really fun project for us today. This is a simple basket made with acrylic yarn. We held 2 strands of medium weight number 4 acrylic yarn together. I'm calling this a scrap happy project because you can use any acrylic yarns to make this. Now I used some that I had on hand that were the beige colors. It's actually called caramel. We'll talk more about yarns in just a minute. The neat thing about this basket is that it has so many fun and different uses. You can put vegetables and fruits in it. You can put toys in it, dog toys, bathroom items, bedroom items, perfumes, makeup, anything that you want to basket up. Even yarn. Makes a great yarn ball basket or yarn project basket to keep your yarns from rolling all over the place. Okay? I call it the vegetable and fruit basket, but actually it's an anything you want it to be basket. It measures about 10 inches long on the bottom. Let me show you the bottom. This is about 10 inches long here. This is about 4.5 inches wide, and then after you do the fold, because we do fold this down, it's about 7 inches here. If you want your basket taller, just add more rows. Super simple. All right. I wanted to use up some yarn that I had to make a basket for fall. I can change this out, put little fake ornaments in there, not fake ornaments, but little Christmas ornaments in there, or little fake gifts, and make it into a Christmas basket. You could add a bow, you could add ribbons, you could add pom-poms, whatever you want to add, nice big buttons to make it decorative for your home, and whatever that you want to use it for. It's just a basic crochet basket. Now you can find the complete pattern on my blog with lots of pictures, and as usual, I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. Now go check your yarn stash and see what colors of baskets you can come up with. Alright, so the yarn that I chose to use for our anything and everything basket is the Sundance Sweet from Hershnerrs. Now the color is called Caramel, and it's kind of an ombre. I think it's more like a shorter striping yarn. And I really thought it was perfect for this project. See how that looks? It has a really nice baskety look to it. And what we're doing is we're holding 2 strands of medium weight number 4 yarn together. Okay, and this is going to form a nice sturdy basket. And I'm kind of calling this a scrap happy project because you can use any medium weight number 4 acrylic yarns or even cotton yarns if you want to. I really prefer acrylic for this one because I want that to be a little bit stiffer, so it's going to hold its shape when we fill it with all the goodies that we put inside. So you're going to need a total of about 7 ounces of a medium weight number 4 yarn, and that's because, like I said, we're holding those 2 strands of yarn together. And this is the one that I used, Sundance Sweets, in the caramel color. I ordered in 3 cakes of this, or skeins of this. It's more of a cake, isn't it? I ordered 3 in probably 3 or 4 years ago. I can't remember. And I never used it because it was just a little bit more scratchy than I wanted it to be. And then I thought, that's perfect for a basket. Okay? You're going to need your scissors, you're going to need a needle, and then we're going to be stitching with the J hook. That's a 6mm crochet hook. We want to use a J hook because we want our stitches to be a little bit tighter. That way we get a good formed basket. Alright? Now again, you can do this in whatever colors that you want to because it works for lots of fun things. Dog toys, kids toys, baby items, bathroom items, toiletries, perfumes, makeup, yarn, pumpkins, whatever you want to use this basket for. So for the whole basket, we're going to be holding 2 strands together. So what I did, instead of taking the time to roll it into 2 balls, I just slid the label off, and I'm grabbing one from the center and one from the outside. And then I'm just tossing it in my little basket container over here, and I'll just unroll it as I go. Okay? That way I've got both of my strands, and to me that's one of the easiest ways to do it. You can roll it into 2 balls, or you know, we're going to be using 2 of these. So, you know, if you have this particular yarn, you can pull 1 strand off each of the cakes. It's totally up to you how you want to do that. I just find it easier to pull 1 strand from the center and 1 strand from the outside. And then I just stick it in one of these little containers and unroll it as I go. All right? All right, let's get started. Now we're going to begin with the bottom of our basket, of course. We're going to make the long rectangle for the bottom of our basket. So I'm holding the 2 strands together. I'm making my slip knot with my J hook again. And we're going to chain 10 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, what I do as I go is I just sort of pull them gently, and you can see that. Here we go. Pull them gently and work as I go. All right, so I've got 10 chains. I'm going to go in the second chain from the hook and stitch a single crochet. And then we'll stitch 1 single crochet in each of those chains across. Alrighty, one more. Get a little more yarn out here. See how I'm just sort of pulling that across gently, not hard. We don't want there to be any lumps or bumps, droops or things in our yarn when we're working, or it'll mess up our stitch. Alright, so we chained 10. We began in the second chain from the hook and stitched a single crochet in each of those chains. So I have 9 single crochets, and I'm going to chain 1. And that's row 1. All right, let's do row 2. We've chained 1. We're going to turn our work. Our chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so we'll go right in that first single crochet and just stitch 1 single crochet in each of those 9 single crochets. And you'll notice every few stitches I'm sort of pulling it out so I can make sure I don't have any, you know, droops or, you know, problems in my yarn where I'm stitching with 2 strands. Because, you know, stitching with 2 strands can be a little more difficult until you get used to it. All right, and chain 1. So now I have a second row of 1 single crochet in each, which is 9 single crochets, chain 1. Let's do row 3. We've chained 1, we're going to turn our work, and again we're going to place 1 single crochet in each of those 9 single crochets. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and chain 1. All right, and so what we're going to do, again, we have 9 single crochets, and what we're going to do is we're going to continue to repeat row 3 for 22 more rows, so that we have a total of 25 rows, and this will be the bottom of our basket. All right, so we're going to repeat row 3 for 22 more rows. So I have repeated it for 22 more rows, and I have 25 rows total. When you're doing single crochet rows, a really easy way to count those is by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, and then 25. All right? Now we're going to begin making the sides of our basket. So we're here at the end of our last row here at row 25. We chained one, and we're not going to turn and go back this way. We're going to come down the side of the row. And we have 25 rows. So what I want you to do is put 25 single crochets working down the side. And if you put one in the end of each of the rows, you'll have 25 single crochets. Now, I do want you to try to put it in the stitch on the end of the rows and not in the holes, if at all possible, because you'll get just a little bit better looking basket. Okay, so we're going to evenly single crochet 25 single crochets down the side of this row. And we're trying to place one single crochet in the side of each of our 25 rows. I have evenly stitched 25 stitches, placing one in the end of each of our 25 rows. We're going to chain one and turn across the bottom, and we're going to be stitching in these beginning chains. We want to make sure we get 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, and then we'll chain one. So you can see that's already curling up a little bit. That's actually going to be the outside. Okay. All right, so we have 25 and then 9. We're going to chain one here just like we did in this corner, and we're going to turn, and we're going to evenly single crochet 25 up this side so that we have the same number as we had on this side on this side. All right, so we chained one. Now we're going to go right in that first stitch, and we're going to stitch 25 single crochets evenly down the side of our row. And again, you want to try to put those stitches in the sides of the stitch and not the holes, so you get a nice appearance. All right, so we'll do down this side the same thing we did down this side. 25 single crochets. So again, we stitched 25 single crochets, we chained one, 9 single crochets, chained one, and then 25 single crochets down the second side. And so now we've chained one, and we're going to place one single crochet in those 9 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We're going to chain one and join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch and chain one. All right, so we have 25 plus 9 plus 25 plus 9, and that should give us 68 total single crochets. All right, so now we have 68 single crochets and those 4 chain ones in the 4 corners. We're not going to stitch in the 4 chain ones. We're only going to stitch in the single crochets. All right, so we'll start in our first single crochet, and we're going to single crochet all the way around our basket. 1 single crochet in each of the single crochets, but not in the chain 1 spaces. All right? When you get to that corner where the chain 1 is, you just skip over the chain 1. That chain 1 just made it easy for us to get around the corners, but we don't want them for the basket because we want our basket to start curling up on the sides. When I get to that first corner, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I've placed a single crochet in those 25 single crochets. I'm to this first corner. Here's that chain 1. We're going to skip over that chain 1 and go right to the next single crochet and stitch those single crochets. And you'll notice when you do that, it's going to cause it to curl up. But of course, this is the outside of our basket. All right, and so now I'll stitch those 9, and I'm going to skip the 4 chain 1s in the 4 corners. All right, only single crochet in the single crochets around. I stitched 1 single crochet in each of those 68 single crochets. I did not stitch in the 4 chain 1 spaces, and that's going to bring this up. You can see the sides are already coming up, and it's starting to look more like a basket. This here is where I need to weave that end in. I'll do that at the end on this particular one. Sometimes I go ahead, sometimes I don't. All right, so I joined to my first single crochet and I chained 3. And that's because now we're going to be stitching some double crochet stitches. Now, this is the outside of our basket. This is the inside, and we're going to be stitching around. All right, so we're going to place 1 double crochet in each of those 68 single crochets, working all the way around our basket. Yep, no tricky stitches in this basket. I wanted it to stitch up quickly because I know you've got lots of uses for this basket, like I do. So many colors you can choose, so many uses. All right, so I'm just going to keep going, stitching 1 double crochet in each of the single crochets, working all the way around our basket. And then we'll join back to our chain 3. I have completed row 28. We stitched 1 double crochet in each of our single crochets around. We joined back to our chain 3 and chain 3. And so now we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in each of our double crochets around. And we're forming up the sides of our basket. All right, and so we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in each of those double crochets, working all the way around our basket. And I am really loving how these colors are with this caramel yarn from Hershnerrs. So pretty. It looks like wicker basket. Of course, you can make your basket in any colors that you would like. All right, so I'm just going to continue working around, stitching 1 double crochet in each of my double crochets, working all the way around my basket and join back to my chain 3. I have completed. This is row 29, our second row of double crochets. And so now what you're going to do is you're going to repeat row 29, which is 1 row of double crochets, join to our chain 3 and chain 3. And you're going to repeat row 29 for 6 more rows. And that might seem like a lot, but because when we do this one, we're bringing it up and then we're going to fold it down after we put that last row on. All right? So we're going to repeat row 29 for 6 more rows. I have repeated row 29 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more rows of double crochet. Okay, after we finished our last row, we just chained 1, not 3, because we're going to do a row of single crochet around the top. And when you do this row of single crochet, you need to bring your tension in just a little bit because we want a nice tight single crochet row. Okay, so we're just going to stitch 1 single crochet in each, working all the way around our basket. I have single crocheted all the way around the top of my basket, and I tightened it up just a little bit, not much. If you struggle with tightening up, you can always go down a hook size for this row, because we really want this row to be just a little bit more, tight. All right, so I'm going to join to that first single crochet. I'm going to cut my yarn. This is what I have left from my 2 skeins. Just FYI. I'm going to pull that loop to the inside for a nice finish, and then we'll weave that in. Alrighty, now I'm using this needle because I'm going to go ahead and weave in both strands. So I've got one with a big eye, and I'm just going to weave this in so it stays put. Alright, so now what we're going to do, here's our basket. Has the trim all on it. It's just a simple row of single crochet around the top. And you can see, because I tightened up my tension just a little bit, it's pulling in just a little bit. That's exactly what we want it to do. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to this second row of double crochet right here between these two, and we're going to fold this down all the way around. Here's where I did some weaving in, where I joined in some yarn that had a knot. So I'm going to clip those because we don't want any of those showing. Okay, we folded it down all the way around, and now we've got a nice basket for whatever we want inside. And I do have some ends I need to kind of tidy up here and over here. I did find this yarn to have a few knots in it, and so I needed to tidy those up. Okay, but here is the basket. You could use this for a dolly basket for your kids' baby dolls or stuffed animals. You could use it for the clothes for your joy bears. You can use it for all kinds of fun things. For now, I'm going to be using mine as a decorative fall basket. And these are just some plastic vegetables. These are pomegranates and gourds that I have on hand. So I'm just going to use them to decorate with for fall. But again, this basket has so many uses. And I mean, like I said, baby items, bathroom items, kitchen items, toys, dog toys, joy bear clothes, lots of different things you can use our fruit and vegetable basket for. And the neat thing is, since we made it out of acrylic yarn, if it gets dirty, toss it in the wash. This is a fun and simple basket.